How's everybody doing? I didn't know if I was gonna stream today. I I got some things I'm doing on 70, and I want to get it done because I'm out away from our little moon base, alpha home base, and I just don't like being out there without a bubble. And what I'm doing, I could put a bubble up now to do the stream, but then I'll have to take it down. So I'm either going to piss away part of an 8-hour bubble, a 24-hour bubble, or one that I got to buy with diamonds. So I'm doing it without bubbling. I'll get this stream done, and then I go back and start playing it again. I got some things going on that'll take close to an hour to get done anyways. Not all of it, some of it. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Mine could have been a lot worse. It really wasn't that bad of a weekend. Yeah, I got I got denied on my disability, so the company they're pretty decent. They're like, well, we got to file an appeal. I think they do that on purpose. They and maybe there's a reason for it. I don't know, but it just seems like I've seen it advertised where they tell you, yeah, like something like 70, 80, 90% of people get denied on their first attempt. So it just seems like unless you are, again, I firmly believe this. I could be wrong, and again, I'm not trying to take anything away from somebody that needs it. I just feel like I should be a second-class citizen because I'm not a drug addict or an alcoholic. But because the fact that they're asking you that, if you're sick and you can't work, that should mean just as much as if you're a fucking dope addict. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that they don't deserve it. I'm not. But if you're someone that got hooked on medication, if you're someone that was just a fucking joyrider snorting coke at parties or what, I'm sorry, that should not count any more than being legitimately sick. But so if you could just please reach out to your elected people and implore them to legalize assisted suicide. Yeah, and then the other thing, and this one here, again, if you're someone that doesn't want to do it, you know, I can kind of respect that, I guess. But this one here is a little harder to respect than the assisted suicide one. Write your and I think you can only write the ones in DC. I don't think it'll do you any good to write your local ones. But the ones in DC, write to them, ask them to get Schumer and Gillibrand and Rubio's both amendments into law. And like an update. Lou Elizondo,
not enough hatred,
who he posted. I got online to I gotta remember to do that later. I got online to update the or upload some YouTube files and get them posted from my streaming here. And he basically said that because of the people that would want to get in the way, shut it down, that kind of thing, he wasn't going to go into detail. But there's something in the works, and he thinks it's going to come down sometime in 2024. I think he said middle of the year, maybe a little bit later. But and he can't really go into detail because and I believe him on this. But he said there's people that would want to shut it down, so he can't really go into a lot of detail on it. But so he can't go into detail for the people that would want to shut it down. So we got that going for us. But please write them. Tell them to get those 2 amendments into law. Get it done this year. You know, don't fall into the, you know. I honestly don't know who to blame for this, but I see a pattern where things are being manipulated to stop it. You know, you talk to the congressmen and congresswomen that were hosting these hearings. They're like, well, somebody was clearly interfering. And the one guy said, he goes, I don't know if we could prove it in the court of law, but he goes, I am convinced that there are people out there trying to intimidate our witnesses. You know, and you know, and this is the thing that got me. And again, I don't consider crime politics, and maybe I'm wrong on this. And I kind of wrote it that way, but I reached out to some of the politicians that I'm in favor of, and I tagged MSNBC in it too. I told him, I go, look, I'm not a lawyer, but you guys either have lawyers on staff, or you have them as guests, or you have contributors, you know, that are lawyers that know something about this. But from what I'm hearing, you know, they only need like 5, but it sounds like they got 50 people that do not want to vote for a fucking terrorist to be the speaker. And you had that Steve Scalise. Now that guy, I don't know. I honestly don't know if he's a terrorist, but he's described himself as David Duke without the baggage. David Duke is a white supremacist proponent of the Klan, I think. And you know, this isn't somebody else. This is him referring to himself as David Duke without the baggage. You know. There was, I can't remember the CEO's name, but she was CEO of Hewlett Packard or something like that, and she ran for president because I think it was Hewlett Packard, but the company that she was running, the minute she announced she would be resigning, the stock went up like 10 or 15%, and you know, I referred to her as, you know, George W. Bush without the goofy family, you know. You know, it's not like a term of endearment, and you know, so for him to say that he's a white supremacist without the baggage, that should set off some warning flags. But he actually had more people. I think he had like 20 or 30 that said they wouldn't vote for him if he came to the floor, and Hannity on Fox is being reported as threatening elected officials if they don't vote to put that piece of shit Jordan in there, you know. And Jamie Raskin, he said, look, when I got cancer, my whole party was supportive. That Steve Scalise, he's got, I think they said he's got leukemia. I think he's got some kind of blood cancer. I think it's leukemia, but if there's another type, it might be. I'm not 100% sure. And he and his party, and it was probably the MAGA fuckers, they were all making fun of him. And I'm thinking, my God, he's a white supremacist. He's an admitted white supremacist. There are plenty of things to make fun of this guy on, you know, without making fun of his health, you know. So he dropped out, and he looked a little shook when he dropped out. But you know, and this is the thing I asked him. I go, okay, if you've got a person on a so-called news show who is literally threatening elected officials to basically elect a terrorist, somebody who shouldn't even be in office, let alone a speaker, two heartbeats away, two people's heartbeats away from being the president. I'm like, how is that not a crime? All of you, the Democrats in office and MSNBC, you guys should be asking people from the DOJ why they are not looking into criminal charges for Hannity on Fox, and why they're not looking at least civil penalties for Fox News for having that piece of shit on air. I mean, this is the thing. And again, maybe it's not, maybe it's, not, but I don't see how that's any different than some of the stuff that the January 6th people, you're basically trying to affect people and keep them from doing their job. There's 50 people in the Republican Party that are doing their job, and they're trying to prevent somebody who's unqualified from getting in the Speaker's house. And I don't fucking get it. I just literally don't fucking get it. Why are you not descending on Fox News and Hannity and getting email information? I literally don't fucking get it. Ooh, what is that? That's a legendary bow. I need hand bows. And I literally don't get that. I literally don't get that. And but yeah, get a hold of them, get them to pass those 2 amendments. Because again, this is the thing, and I put this up on because there was something else going on. And I'm like, because here's the thing, I'm not one of these people. I'm not gonna speak, because there's people out there, and to me, and again, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. I don't want to shit on them too much. Maybe they're right. But they're like, because you had these people after 9/11, they're like, oh well, the government did this, the government would do. Well, we don't know that. We literally don't know that. What I think has been proven by the architects and the engineers for 9/11 truth, I think we've proven that the reason we were given was not true. Because according to them, there was evidence that had to be thrown out because it didn't fit with the proposed cause. And I've watched a lot of Columbo and Quincy and other shit growing up, and the one thing I can tell you is, in all those shows, I've never watched a Sherlock Holmes movie or Data playing Sherlock Holmes on the Next Generation. I've never seen one where they basically came to their conclusion of what happened and then decided what factual physical evidence they could actually allow. The way it's supposed to work is you are supposed to look at the facts and find an answer that fits the facts. And the guy who wrote Sherlock Holmes, there's a line in that book where Sherlock Holmes basically tells you that when you've eliminated the things, because I'm paraphrasing, I can't word it exactly right, and I'd have to look it up. But when you've looked at the facts and you've eliminated everything that doesn't fit the facts, whatever remains, however unlikely, has got to be the truth. And and this to me, and this is what I'm saying, if you're a UFO person, you got to get into the archaeology stuff, because what they did, the NIST people did, and if I ever get confused, NIST is the group that looked into 9/11. NIST is the National Institute for the Discovery of Science. That was a scientific research team it was created by Bigelow either after, it's either after or after or while he was investigating Skinwalker Ranch. I think they're both attributed to him, and I'm not 100% sure. But one is called NIDS, and the other one is called Bass or something like that. And if not mistaken, now one of them I think was being paid for by the government. They got like $22 million to look into it, but it was funded by the government. Come on. And so there's, just because it's entirely possible. I remember a day where I'm a little worse than this. I could get them mixed up, but that. Ooh, what do we got? Oh, that's a dead end. And but they but that's what these archaeologists do. The mainstream ones. They have their narrative, they have their opinion, and any evidence, factual evidence that doesn't fit it, is thrown to the side. And I told the story before, but there was this guy when he was on, I think it was the old TV show Sightings, he said they used to sell this at Smithsonian, and it was a keychain, and he goes, it was a replica of an exhibit, and it was called Stylized Bug or something like that. It was something that they had found and it'd been there for decades, at the Smithsonian. Well, then somebody in the 80s noticed that it actually looked a little bit like the space shuttle, and they pulled it off the shelf. They no longer had it because they would rather pull it and keep everybody ignorant than actually look at the possibility that it was a picture of something like our space shuttle. That primitive people, and some of those ones, and they've got more than one, I think, but they've got these things that, were thought to be carvings of birds or something like that. And people who've looked at it, people that know a little bit of something about this, unlike me, they have said that, well, that can't be a bird because birds aren't built like that. And then what they did was they actually made one, and there's something they feel has broken off because it looks like it's damaged. And what they've done is they added it's like the tail of a plane. You got but it's like the tail of a plane. When the tail comes out, you got that little fin on top. It comes back, and you've got this, and then you got that thing on top. But they just put something like that on there, and in the damaged area, because it looks like it literally broke off. And what they've done is, in one case, they flew it, and it flew perfectly. When they got it up in the air, and it was a glider, and when they got it up in the air, it flew perfectly, and then when it slowed down and it came for land, it automatically flared so it could land. That was the aerodynamics of it. And there was a movie I watched, I think it was Flight of the Phoenix or something like that. It's an older movie. It was made like 20 years ago or something like that. It might be based on an older movie. I don't know. But there was a guy, and I think it's the guy who played Duck. I think he passed away, but it's the guy who played Ducky on NCIS. I think he was in Mission, and the original Mission Impossible. He's one of the old TV shows. And
my hatred is too low. Your fear betrays you.
And he was helping them to rebuild a plane so they could get out of. They were stuck, and they found out he was a toy maker. And there were people that were upset about it, and he pointed out that because of the low weight and everything like that, if you're going to make a toy plane that'll fly, you actually need more engineering than someone who makes full-size planes, because it's harder to get it back. It has to be more exact, more precise. So the fact that that little thing was flying so well is, it required more of an effort to design it, build it, than if you were going to make a full-size plane. Kind of like if you're out on the seas, the big ships are not as susceptible to waves and stuff in the ocean than what a small, like, that's why you can't take little dinghies out on the river. You gotta have a bigger boat. If you're gonna go out on Lake Michigan, you need a boat that's quite a bit bigger than the little ones you would put in on a river or a lake. Because when you get into the bigger ocean, well, it's the same thing with the flying. If you're going to be out there where there's winds and hurricanes, stuff like that, the more rough the weather, either the more exact or the bigger the plane needs to be to survive it, to navigate it. And so that that right there was just a fucking huge thing. And
courage.
So you got that. And I don't want to sit there and say, oh, well, you got to get this done because we're going to find ET. I really don't know. But the one thing I am positive of is that if we get to the bottom of this, we are going to find corruption. I am positive we're going to find corruption. Maybe we'll get ETs, but even that, and this guy's a Republican, but even he has said, well, every time they audit the Pentagon, they come up like $1 billion short, like every year. And that's the stuff we know about. That guy testified before Congress under oath. An inspector general said what he is talking about is credible and it's urgent. He said that there is money that's being taken from approved things and spent on things that are unapproved. That is Iran-Contra levels of crime. And so I don't know what else we're going to find. If we found, I got a feeling that it's at least as possible that a lot of this stuff and the UFO stuff, it could very well be stuff that is targeted at the media and the population to cover up misappropriated money. Kind of like what they do in magic, where they get you looking over here, well, they pick your pocket over here, And so I don't know. I am positive that they will find corruption if they look. Absolutely positive of it. And I think I told you, Lou. I don't really know anymore. Like I said, he just said, he goes, well, he said there's something going on that'll come out. That'll come out next year. I gotta try to remember. I forget it, but I got those Pax Falls on here. I usually try to stay at a distance because I actually got a shooter and not one that has to fight up close. And but every now and then I gotta run in so that Pax Falls will poison them and start to kill them. Ooh. Cleanse the cursed chest. Let's get that Windex out.
Your fear betrays you.
I cannot open this. I need more hatred to do that.
I recently met a returning crusader. Now I understand. Each crusader took an apprentice. When a crusader fell, his apprentice would pick up his armor, his place in the order, and even his very name. When the first generation of crusaders fell, their own apprentices took up their identities. And so it has continued for 200 years.
I think it's my tablet, but I'm so sick of this shit. I'm watching this stuff on the Dish app, and what it does, it just pukes out in about halfway through. And no matter what I do, I can't. I mean, just sitting there, it's the commercials that are fucking it up. But I try to restart it, and then I end up missing part of the show because I was talking, doing the stream, and I want to pay attention to the thing, and it's like, oh, the fucking thing froze on a goddamn commercial. Fix your shit. It's probably not them. It's probably the tablet I'm running, but that's all I got. Okay, let's go through our skills. Okay, we got the bola, we got, ooh. Okay, we're gonna do the evasive fire. And then I'm gonna keep that rapid fire, the chakram, and the elemental arrow. Yeah, I like the rapid fire. We're gonna do that for right now. Okay, we got caltrops. Okay, what do we? Smoke screen, Shadow Power, gain life for dealing damage. Yeah, we're gonna stay with this, and we're gonna mobilize them. Yeah. And, Vault. Yeah, we'll try that. I should go see what the other ones are. We got Preparation. And no. Oh! Okay, we're gonna do the other one, but I'll eventually do the companion. I like any of these characters. I like their companion ones. You get a little help fighting. Screw that. We're gonna do it now. Okay, Fan of Knives. Spike Trap. Sentry. Yeah, we'll do that. Again, more help. And we got Archery. This is the not the trigger, but the top button. I like that one. Okay, Blood Vengeance. Steady aim. We'll try that. And then I think I got this one, but yeah,
No,
the Demon
I will not
Machine.
do
I got it in this character. I finally turned it on because I don't play it as much as this one. Play it longer sometimes, but I don't play it as much as this one, the one I do offline. Okay, the Lost Patrol. Yeah, if I actually do my Minecraft stream, what? And okay, I gotta keep going. I thought I had to go up to go forward. But if I do a Minecraft, well, as long as I remember it. If I do the Minecraft stream and I still remember the details of it, I watched two things on the Dialogue Pass I'm going to be talking about. I'm just going to be talking in general. If you find it interesting, I will tell you what to look for, what you got to see. These ones here were ones my brother watched on Discovery, and then he recorded them to see if I wanted to watch them, and I did. I watched one of them Saturday, and that one there, I don't feel I learned anything new. Like, there were no new topics. But the guy, and he's got a good show. He's done several shows, and all of them I think are pretty good. But he debunked a lot of them. A lot of the theories out there, that was what he kind of did. He went through and debunked them. I gotta get one more dipshit. watched The Lord of the Rings over the weekend. Didn't watch the last one. I watched like the whole first one, and then what the hell is this dipshit one? Oh, it's the guy down below. It ain't him. And then I watched the second one. The
I'm just a scout. I was supposed to survey the battlefield from this tower along with my lieutenant, but we were attacked. I still have the spyglass here. Please, take it to my lieutenant. I don't know how long he'll be able to hold out up there.
Occasionally these ones where you gotta free the guys that are on spikes, they fuck up. And because I'm not seeing, I got one more I'm supposed to get, and it's not showing up on the map. If I have any trouble doing it, I'm not gonna keep. I'll just end the stream and cancel it if it's. Because it's happened before where I've actually gotten. I've only gotten like 2 of them. I don't think there's one, but I've had it before where I get one of those guys off and it doesn't register. And you know, and I go through the whole thing, and I'm not going to do that today. But I go through the whole thing, and then it's telling me I got to find somebody else, or it'll have an arrow going back to the first one. I go back to the first one, and the first one is done, and it's not giving me credit for it. So.
Help me!
Is this my blood? I can't breathe.
I wish I had been here in time.
Yeah, and they had on the new again. I don't really. I don't consider war crimes. I don't consider terrorism. I don't consider any of that political. I don't. But I do really like how some of the news is covering Hezbollah. And I really appreciate. I'm not really I'm not really Jewish any more than you know, any. There was a movie. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was there's like terrorists that took over a plane, and I can't think of the guy's name, but he was in a lot of John Wayne movies, and this would have been after John Wayne died, I believe.
I need to go back.
And he was playing a priest, and they wanted to know if, because they wanted all the non-Jews off the plane, they were going to hold the Jews hostage till they got their money. Then we're back in the good old days when the terrorists were just greedy fuckers. You know, like I was talking to my brother about this. Like, you know, when we were in high school back in the 70s and 80s, you know, junior high, high school, that kind of thing. The terrorists would hijack a plane, and with rare exceptions, they would ask for money, they'd give them money, and they would give the people back. It was transactional. There's a little bit of this that goes on in Mexico now, you know, where they kidnap somebody, they ask for money, and then when they get the money, you know, they give up the person, and it's just done. It's like going to the fucking store or something. Like it's just a business transaction. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not defending it, but you know, you don't have women and children strapping bombs on her. You're not flying planes into buildings. It's just not the way it was back then. And hang on. We get life per second. And I think what it is, and you get this a lot in your Republican Party now, where these people they don't understand that their views are in the minority, their views are not represented by facts and reason and history, and they act up. Like they shot, they've blown up abortion clinics, they've shot people, and they're not getting their way. And so they've gotten more and more violent. And like again, you've got a shit bag on Fox News that they're reporting is threatening politicians. Hey, elect that guy that turned a blind eye when wrestlers were getting sexually molested at Ohio State, allegedly. Elect that guy speaker that, was basically in on the January. And really, to some extent, you got to blame Garland for this. You got to blame the Department of Justice for this. January 6th was like 2.5 years ago. His involvement in that should have already been taken to court by this time. Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, there's a whole bunch of people in the Republican Party. If the Justice Department had done their job, we wouldn't have these guys in government acting like terrorists holding everybody hostage because they're not getting their way. They'd be either, maybe they'd beat it. Maybe they're innocent. Maybe a trial would find them not guilty and wouldn't convict them. But we would know, and that's in large part because we seem to have a fucking sloth in the Department of Justice who doesn't want to do his job, and he's not alone. In the middle of the Trump presidency, Eric Holder was looking at factually the things that Donald Trump was bragging about doing, and he just said, "Well," he goes, "the next attorney general, they're going to have to make the call on whether they want to prosecute or not." And he said, he goes, if I'm the attorney general, if I was the attorney general, I don't think I'd want to charge a president. And then this is the thing for, and you look at Hunter Biden. You look at that Senator Menendez. We've got a Justice Department that has no problem bringing charges against a Democrat or a Democrat's kid, but real crime, serious crime that's committed on the right. And we've seen it with Comey. We've seen it with the guy that's in there now for FBI Director Wray. And we've seen it with Garland. Garland, I don't think would have prosecuted any of the people that currently Jack Smith is prosecuting if Congress hadn't embarrassed him. Because Congress started dropping facts and reality on the table in those hearings, and they had Republicans in there, and they had Democrats. And Liz Cheney really looked like she was working her ass off. I mean, I'm not a big fan of hers politically, but you can't deny that she was kicking ass and taking names in there along with the Democrats. Well, at a certain point, the DOJ was going, "Well, you've got to give us your information." It's like, no, motherfucker, we'll give it to you when we're done. You should have been doing your goddamn job. And I don't know if I want to fight Grom. I'll try it, but Grom might be the end of the stream because he's hard to kill, and I have had a shitload of problems, even on easy, with this game. I think they've cranked up the difficulty on it to try and force people to buy the new one. And believe me, if I had the money, if I was able to work, if my streaming had been successful and I was able to generate, money like I was when I was able to work from it, I would be more than happy to buy that game. I would be more than happy to stream it. If I got a copy of the game, I'd be happy to stream it. But it's just not in the cards. It's literally just not going to happen. Yeah, these guys are taking forever to kill. Yeah, I can't remember. Can't remember if it was Paramount or somebody else, but they had the Dark Knight trilogy of Batman on. I watched. God, I think one day I might have watched one, and another day I watched another one. I don't think I watched them on the same day. And ooh. I got two of them like right on top of you. They look kind of funny doing that. Oh man, I can't wait for the next Minecraft stream. I got some stuff done. Now that was a lot easier. He didn't come after me though, which, you know, if that's a glitch, I'll take it. Yeah, no chest for killing him. I think that'll end the stream, and I'll get back to Ebony. Yeah, if in a little bit I'm gonna take a look. I'm getting a little lightheaded now doing this, but I'll take a break, and if I feel as good as I did when I started this, I'll start the mic. I actually got some stuff done. I have not, and it might not work out, but so far it's looking good. But I haven't had an idea this good in a while, and I still want to make the Iron Badger. The Iron Badger is a iron farm built into a raid farm, and then you get the raid. You get the best of both worlds. You get the stuff from the raid. You get the drops from the iron golems, and it worked pretty good. And the only problem I have with it is I don't know if the Trident farms or the I don't know if the Trident killers still work. The last I knew, you had a possibility that the Trident farms would quit working. Like, you used to be able to just leave the Tridents in there all day, and they'd stay there and stay there. Well, now, and I did this once before. If they fixed it, then I'm good. But I still think I'm gonna make one. I don't have to. I found 2 outposts. I can make one of these there, and if it don't work, it don't work. Or if there's issues with it, then I'll make another one where it's just a raid farm. But I was looking at the iron farm, and I've had it there for, a while now. And I was making some improvements, and I was looking at it and I made some improvement, and they helped. They absolutely helped. I made it easier to get the golems in there. And then when I was looking at the part where the golems and everything end up and the killing field happens, I just looked at it, and I've never done it, and I can't remember ever seeing. I'm not saying that it hasn't happened. I don't remember seeing a video of it, and I've never done this. At least I don't remember doing this before. I built it and to where I can send the iron golems into the nether, and I can send the drown. And I've done the drown before, but I've never done it with the golems. And what I'll be able to do is I'll just be able to put the iron golems in there, and then sit at the spawner and let the drown. And I'm gonna hook a timer up to where it'll automatically just send, like, every so often it'll trip it and send the drowned in there. And then I can, like, I can sit there for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, get a handful of golems in there, and then I think I must have sent like 15 or 20 golems into the nether. It was actually pretty cool. I saw them down below running when they came out on the other side, and so it was working pretty good. Well. Yeah, I'm gonna see with life per second, not per hit. Oh, this one's a lot better.
Excellent.
The world is... You have finished.
Yeah, let me get this taken care of, and then I will, if you're watching this on YouTube, spank the shit out of that like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you got anything, you got any questions, where I will do my best. I might tell you it's none of your business, but feel free to ask. I won't be mad at you for asking. I just might feel it's none of your business and not want to talk about it. But ooh, must have got stuff out of that crate. Yeah, nothing there. Okay, well, I'm gonna bid you guys all a good day. I don't know. It looks like it ain't gonna be. It was kind of rainy off and on all weekend and end of last week. I don't know if the sun's gonna come out. It's kind of. It's okay. It's not hot as shit. But peace out and hope everybody has a good day.